Hey everyone, good morning. I know some of you have heard it's starting to leak out that my scan results didn't come out really well. And so I just apologize for some of you who are hearing this for the very first time on social media. There's so many of you who are loving and caring for our family that I apologize. This is the platform that you have to hear it from. But I did get a scan. I went through my clinical trial for 9 weeks of chemo, and I got my scan on Saturday and found the results on Monday. And to be honest with you, my cancer is not responding to the chemo at all. It really surprised the doctors and the research team because this clinical trial has had a lot of success in the past, and it's phase 3 and it's doing quite well. But for me, it didn't, and my cancer actually grew. And so the two tumors in my liver have grown. My tumor in the gallbladder has grown, and I'm afraid I have several new spots in the liver and several new spots on my lung. And the doctor wanted to reassure me it's not all hopeless. She's not ready to give up the fight, and I'm not ready to give up the fight. I still feel pretty strong physically, and so I'm going to keep fighting. And so she wants to do Plan B, and so they have taken me off the clinical trial. And this afternoon, I will go in and I'll start a new chemo cocktail. The good news about Plan B is that it is probably going to be easier tolerated. It won't be as hard as the chemo cocktail before. The bad news about Plan B is that it won't be as powerful. And Plan B is a long shot. But we're going to keep fighting. And I just want to reassure you of that. I'm catching myself over the last several days as I digest all this that there's three things that are coming to the surface I have to wrestle with and do at the same time. And they almost seem a little contradictory or in tension with each other. And the first is I have to fight. I'm going to keep fighting. It's too early to give up. And I know a lot of you have been sending me emails. You don't want me to give up, and I appreciate that. The second thing is I have to, while I'm fighting, lament. I have to grieve the loss and the complexity of the situation of Patty and I having cancer at the same time and the difficulty of the different scenarios with that. I have to constantly bring my fears and my frustrations with God. And every night I have this beautiful time where I just let God hear me and I sense God's love holding me and beholding me. And it's this beautiful lament. And then the third thing, which I think is going to be harder for you to hear, but I absolutely believe God can do a miracle. I believe God can do the impossible. But I have to start opening my heart that the miracle may not be healing, but it might be taking me home. And some of you who've been around me know that God tends to speak to me in images and metaphors. And if you've heard me preach, I share way too many metaphors. I love imagery. And the image that God gave me that I shared with you several weeks ago was this image of Patty and I holding hands. And we're tubing in the Yellowstone River, and I'm not sure that river. And the current's taking us, and we're not sure where it's taking us. But the farther along we go into the river, we start to experience more and more beauty. And I've had this sense of that image that God is taking us on a beautiful journey. I've also had this image because every morning I wake up to a sunrise over the mountains. And I've had this image of resurrection, of God making me new. And I've had this sneaking suspicion that God is doing something beautiful in my life. But from the very beginning, even in the hospital, I wasn't quite sure it was in this kingdom. But maybe this beauty is going to be in the kingdom to come. Now, I want to reassure you, I'm going to continue to fight. I'm not giving up. But I am going to start putting my hope and to the foundational truths of Scripture, like Romans 8, or 1 Corinthians 15, or 1 Thessalonians 4, that describes our eternal hope. And as creative as I am, I have a picture of the kingdom to come. And it's going to be beautiful. And I'm excited. I'm not ready, but I am excited. I do have some prayer requests. First of all, I just pray that I can tolerate the chemo this afternoon. The quality of life is important to me. I also pray that it works. I want more time here in this kingdom. Second prayers, just pray for our family, for Patty and the boys. We're all digesting this news in different ways, and we're having honest conversations, and just keep praying for those conversations. The third is just pray for this idea of pain. I shared my pain had been a lot less last week, and I think I spoke too early. The doctor told me as the cancer grows, the pain is getting more intense. And we're figuring out through medicine different pain management techniques, and just pray that we can get that right. It's a little bit of a science and recipe, and just pray for pain management. Again, thank you for fighting with me. Thank you for lamenting with me. And thank you for praying for a miracle, regardless if that miracle is healing here on this earth or if God is taking me home. I know God is up to something. I just don't know what. And for the first time, and I think it's because of all your prayers, for a guy who likes a lot of control, I'm really at peace where God is taking me, even though I have no idea. I know God is doing beauty, whatever that means. So thank you for your love, and thank you for your prayers. Take care. Bye.